Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn. It's been a bit, and I've been having some pretty alright times lately. I think I finally settled into a bit of a routine. So, without further ado, let's get back into the action. So, last we left off, we had... sorry, just things stuck in my teeth. So last we left off, we we'd just come off of dealing with Ramu, and now we're in some political situations, I think. I can't quite remember, to be honest. But now, well, we're trying to enlist, trying to get a little bit of help from Ishgard. But right now, we're going to be helping them with their cult, with their dragon cult issue. As we have come a little bit closer to finding the Lady Iceheart, their leader. Time is of the essence, Valzin. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them not if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Emmerich everything we have discovered. Take that sneeze. Bless me. Oh hey, Alphino's there. Velzen is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. We told we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levier been informed? Braves must be made aware. So we got a situation. It must be here. I'm certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we may be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it! This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should be when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her. Stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl. Please? That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Hida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Levier! Papalimo! There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels. After spotting the enemy breaking the surface, but that's not all, sir. We think one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Once this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it lies, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we enter the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more of a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies will become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Emmerich and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever the tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you're prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, but not too many or Papalima will sulk. The entrance to the tunnel, sir? It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed. Per Sir Emmerich's orders, he'll stand guard outside. Please be aware that should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. That's fine. I am all I need. Oh, interesting. I can enter with NPC allies into Snowcloak. Okay. Oh. What am I doing? Thought I agreed to blitz this place. Hold on. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna blitz this place. It's gonna take too long. And I would like to get on with the story. Let's try this again. This is quite... I do find this quite pretty, though. I am all I'll ever need. Time for a test of my skills. Although not really. I plan to obliterate them all. Ah, how calming. What an ice casual slaughter. Let me... There we go. I am not taking the loot. Calm music. Calm music amidst a violent environment. All we're missing is the blocks, and then we have ourselves a game of Minecraft. Which is something I might consider doing in the future. Just a Minecraft playthrough. Yes, come to me. You're not transforming. A finger of the apostate. Go. Nope. Oops. Didn't mean to collect these. They're completely useless anyway.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart.
Oh, her name is pronounced Izel. I thought it was Ysael. All this time.
This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light.
What do you mean by that?
I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good.
I feel like that there's some context missing.
For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
I see what's going to happen next. That took longer than I expected. What news, Valzen? So, Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. Indeed. Also, she's hot. Did I forget to mention she's fucking hot? She managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you've cleared the path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they'll even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. Don't be praised, Valzen. We may yet turn the situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Mivilia and Oriange have been busy pursuing the archives of House Fortoms, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you're intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The incident should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Fortom. I trust your time there proved fruitful. What that it had, Oriange and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She laid down with a dragon, gravest sin of all sins. The gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible, and quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we'll find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortom. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice. Most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Emmerich might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I expected, Sir Emmerich. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. It merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, it was not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land. When they took up arms against the Travanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There were those who believe that faith is renunciant of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to purity. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. It was a different time, nay, a different era. The scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. Man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. welcome trade at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe Iceheart's plan can succeed? Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mughal Mog the 12th, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplicants of the Mughals' god. Saint Shiva may differ. What of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that's not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Benfilia. They both have, and they have both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the aetherites Iceheart used to escape. I believe that she teleported to another aetherite, somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of the second aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly, unless Iceheart has sent some masked signal. Could only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route. Most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let's not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Shalian may be able to assist us. You are right. I do not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Manvilia looks into our aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Garthus is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for the leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Okay. Good. I knew you would understand. You, Hase, can apprise you of the details. When a task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in this investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold no cloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. There you are, Valzin! Commander Levier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. What's the third hail from Ul'dah? And for a man accustomed to feel the sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Denetham Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I did not earn my coin. Whee! Balls! My ankle's on fire. Put my boot on a rock and something, and it was something and twisted as I fell. The others went on ahead to Denifin Pass. Hurry, you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. The snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Ah, so this way leads to Will Smith. Oh no, wait, that's Fresh Prince. Zion, what are you doing here? Heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great skill piece at Yuhase? I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. Oh, he wasn't kidding. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you, but tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? I can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Hello? I get through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with us bluecoats and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with him then, if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland. Sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands have a thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds, it has shrunken deep. No, I've done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will, we shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all! What a welcome surprise, Yugiri. Fancy meeting you here, Valzin. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? Tangled web. As you wonder, we had come not for the heretics, but for the merchant who had been conspiring with them. It came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. Your biggest belief, I know. But it seems our favorite Garlean spy might have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, you might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphino is too kind. Me and my people and I have done little to aid your search for the spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead, and the work they promise, will require a very particular set of skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. This is a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Balzan. Let us wait inside for Captain Ilbert to return and deliver his report. Captain Ilbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble into one press. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. An Ilbert, a report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ashgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, will be more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring the needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Forton. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think he can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abating the heretics. Well, this is one mystery solved at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. You consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them. The field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean that the agent is among Rabon's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? It is the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldaz was ever the most vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa and Gridania have long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adders. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people. Loyal ones, mined under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Reborn faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known, even after he convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost. There remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amid the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier then than now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though Maelstrom ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail Van Darnus' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Reborn with an army. It is but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Dome and allies are shadowing every high-ranking flames. Any one of them could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue our investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. Didn't notice anything unusual. I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Emmerich, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics as abetas. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Valzen. As the realm's stoutest champion, it is only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart. But until another path into our sanctum is found, we will remain beyond our reach. Mephilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nothica's altar. We shall make our way to the Lotus Sand together. Please tell me this has voice. Please tell me this one has voice lines. I do not feel like talking again. It's not my. And before anyone wonders, it's not my throat. I bit my tongue a couple times sneezing earlier today. Now it hurts like hell. Thanks for coming, Valzen. When you are ready, speak with the Conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Sand. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Sand. Will you be joining them now?
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Sorry, I was eating. It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose. Despite their protestations, it's the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent golem mold is not enough to stir them. But the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little unless the common folk. Take the Lomenses, for instance. Though Admiral Merwin outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wood-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorn as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take the pillar of Uldar society Teleji Adeleji, for example. But that is besides the point. The fact is the people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict of Cottonelle is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, thereby curb their appetite for a full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing, let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke of the Observatorium, Captain Ilbard has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is likely come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Bowson. All that remains is to corner our quarry, seek out Ilbard near the Adder's Nest. He'll give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kurthis, you may be sure that I will send word out without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Also, where are the fireworks? I keep hearing them. Yep, I knew it. The design was too unique. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well. Why we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Eileen Rael. Raoli. Rabon's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flame, she was a mercenary of no small renown. To say her skill with a polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgaudian birth, she is the highest ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Rabon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monarchists saw things differently, however. Having founded the Enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. was no secret they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially. That's the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the monarchists did not raise so much as a murmur or protest when Royale was appointed to her possession. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monarchists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. The foremost interest was its Royale's presence here, now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Reborn attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, but here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She's up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames' records for evidence of Raela's guilt. If we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks. Every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely on your eyes, Scion? Leave it to me. You have my thanks. Let's go then. And take care not to alert our quarry. Royale is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. Me, Scion. Stupid invisible walls. So Royale has entered the Caroline Canopy. Meaning someone, perchance? What could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she's not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. Enough mine is stationed there. And she may have seen something. Epiphany is her name. I shall remain here in case Rael reappears. And Skycloak, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you're sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The Roos! How can I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might interest you in some one-toy tonic? Day I've used a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant. These eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. The 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Rael would have disappeared without a trace. She left by boat, and She left by boats. Though who the hell were we tracking? leads us to the East Shroud Island. I suggest we follow Royale's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. Clever dick. What a clever girl. In the words of Jurassic Park, clever girl. This way, my friends. The quarry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If Royale is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with our Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. We're no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we've installed them around city-states. In so doing, we've made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Royale would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through a disguise. Tis for this reason, I believe, she's chosen the Black Shroud for our clandestine meeting. The Elysian are a common sight here, and our comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne's hut and catch Royale in the act. The people report that a quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The Ivy returns to the Nell, Arles, whence she came. But perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? The countrymen and I shall wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Just beyond, Royale is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it, with me. Lane Marshal Elaine Royale. You're under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool! Damnation! You're unarmed, my lady. and scarcely guard for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the 12th Wood? Last I looked, that was no crime. Neither was conversing with passing strangers. You feign ignorance then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. So come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. That's strange, though. That feels very strange. Even a warrior of Rael's renown could not hope to have escaped by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position was untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Gul'dan will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I might ask, what will you do now, Falzon? So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray, do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. Speaking of talents, you have been training in the art of the shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident, to me at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Until next time, my friend. She's referring to the fact that I have experience as a ninja. I like that. I like that subtle nod. I like subtle nods like that. So it's Taru just juggling. Welcome back, Falzon. I understand that Alphino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against alien Rael? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetherites in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctum of some description. It is there that we suspect that she means to summon Shiva, using the crystals she stole from the House Fortong caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped. Stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet, and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetherite to which she teleported. A prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetherite upon arrival. A reckless, desperate measure, but an effective one. So discussing the matter at length with Oriange, we've concluded that we lack the experience to develop a solution, which is why we call upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise. A colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Shalian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, we could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her welcome. She's pretty.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar and an authority on Aetheryte technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Who could say that? Let's return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna... Steady? Steady? Not bad, eh? With a little more practice, I could earn a fortune at the Ruby Road Exchange. Only those with proven expertise receive the mark, as our newcomer has. Pay no heed to her manner. Master Louisoix did think quite highly of her. On the other hand, so does Yida. I'm sorry, but I just found the gesture of what Tatar is doing quite endearing. I just couldn't.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Oh, the sass.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Shalian to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the aetherite.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white auracite at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetherite. However, white auracite cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
though it risked the lives of our best and brightest. We have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
Okay.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
This is... we're not in Baldur's Gate 3. I've already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in manner Moonbreeder described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said he wished to meet you at Snowcloak, before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done on our behalf, Valzen, and I have faith that you will return to us, as you always have. When you put it like that, you're making it sound like I'm not coming back at all. Also, I can't remember this, but how easy is it to get your hands on white auracite? More even that, and that I also can't remember what is or other colors of auracites. So I can fly over this. Huh. Good to see you, Valzen. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Pilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends the interrogation of Elaine Raoul, and it will die even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand, and discuss the ivy upon your return. Cross that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetherite. Off to you, Scion. There, it is ready. Huh. It works, I think. Try tuning to the Aetherite now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. We've done all we can, Valzen. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the grace of the 12, you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, we may attempt to hasten the completion of the summon. She may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she does, we'll have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, not to say if your own strength will suffice, so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about waging their lives on the success of Moonbreeder's experiment, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Ah, and before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be in person, and asks that I read to you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat. As in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Nelson Skycloak, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Helone bless you with good fortune, and see you safely home. Alright. Let's have a grand old let's have a grand old time. Knock, knock.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Different. Damn it, why must the female primals be hot? I destroyed her before the quick kick-ass second phase. Very different outcome. This is just a very nice battlefield, I'll give it that. Oh. Still kicking.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of Light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the Keeper of the Lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift.
Hmm?
Hear, feel, think.
Very different. And sets part of the stage for the next expansion. And goddamn it, Ascian.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? So we got a situation. Iceheart. What? And you're certain about that, are you? Dravanians are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. I'm sure you're not injured. Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. Oh, fair enough. I was only asking. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. But before that, you'd best pay a visit to the White Room front, speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing at politics with the Ashgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. Damn, God damn it, Frida. Okay, so we got a problem. Good news and weird news. There he is. None the worse for wear. Is there any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say I should I think I speak for us all when I say I should like nothing more than to hear the sterling tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. but not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Valzen to thank. Yes, you're right. Of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it take days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillamont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men have recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the selfsame supplies the heretics stole from House Fantome's caravan? Less the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Oh, on a related note, Valzen, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he had learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. Took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. Oh, Horsefall. Oh, Horsefall. Also, as a bit of a warning, if you see a small dragon that's shedding diamonds, and that's leaving behind a trail of diamonds, don't shoot it down, I'm riding it. You thinking, Valzen, wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might... Damn it, traffic! So many loud bikes, I swear. Pay it no mind, chat. Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then engaging the abomination of mortal combat? By the fury, Valzen! This is the stuff of ballads! A battle for the ancients! Would that I had been there to fight by your side! Yet here I am, yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wander at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But here you are now. That is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He waits us in the intercessory. The intercessory. Oh. Such... what a bro. Greetings, sir. I shall show you inside at once.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the Calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
That's politics.
Choose your next words carefully.
That's politics, Alpha, no. You studied it.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am now. Why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you.
Very well.
Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's methods of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, but the mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Balzan. It's bad that we continue this conversation in Mordona. To more donuts. Wait, what? Aha! Hey, I just gotta say, you're pretty, you're alright. What you two do is your own business. Don't say I didn't warn you. Trying to tumble the table now, are we? Don't give up, boy. Eat up. Line them up. Are they trying to... Are they trying a drinking contest? I should look at the background more often with these characters.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once.
Alright. Have a seat. This is a doozy.
Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as, damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Damn the bikes outside.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Yes. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard Zorma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few... Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Balzan, 'tis well that you're on hand. We have a problem. Roel has escaped. It happened shortly after the immortal flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. Tenaki was found slain with 2 guards. It is plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Roel quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloody spear in her hand. She makes for Castra Meridiano. I'm certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbard and the First are hot on Roel's heels. Pray, make haste to Camp Bluefog and join the hunt. Why why Bluefog? Like, wouldn't it be better if I just came in from... Wait for her... whatever. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Roel walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked through. He did not mishear. We have Reborn's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her. So here we are. Roel must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridiana. Let us proceed. Whew. Shiver. This wretch was with Roel. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to our own. Goddamn harpy. With me, Sion. We almost have her. Why not? I've done so before. Ninjas! I believe that is that. Find her. And we do it tight. Yes, sir. No comment. Good work, then. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others? You know not of our plight, the injustice that we lowborn Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me as a paragon when I joined the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person to have ever suffered. In case you've forgotten, Reborn himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others for their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin, and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? It is true that we're both mercenaries of lowly birth, and it is true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Not so much of a hint of remorse. Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Reborn chose his.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Reborn. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Captain Ilbod and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Reborn, and that shall be the end of it. Our work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I do have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and appraise Minfilia of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Royale in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how the tale ends. Or how this tale ends. Rather. Oh, screw it. Any funny things in the background? Nope. Ingrid's still passed out drunk.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say.
Huayu? That's how you pronounce her name? Huayu? That is nothing.
Together with Reborn, Eileen lent us much needed aid at the time of our order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat.
Okay, the first name I can understand more easily, but I swear.
When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Hebrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Hebrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
Ship.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Vow. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement. But I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Oh, another cutscene.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the Primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Huh, triple. if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or Monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Team, purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not...
Oh, damn it!
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldar's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the Monitorists with a rod to beat Reborn.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few.
The Monitorists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Reborn to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way.
There's plenty of other ways.
When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monitorists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Reborn, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
And I believe that ought to do it for the time being. Thank you all for watching, those who decided to tune in. I'll be catching you all tomorrow for some more Ender Lilies. As for any more streams, who knows? But for now and as always, I've been Rippington, and until next time, folks, bye!